So with the Assad regime tumbling in Syria after 50 years, what is Israel to do but bomb them? Why not? Israel bombing Damascus.
يا لطيف يا رب تسترنا يا رب تسترنا
See.
We've got a team standing by to cover all of this. We are going to start with NBC News international correspondent Raf Sanchez. Raf, good morning. All this happened so fast.
So fast. The history of the Middle East rewritten at lightning speed. Bashar al-Assad and his family ruled Syria with an iron seizing control.
If you want to see more about him leaving and seizing control, I'm running to the palace. I got a video before this one.
There, Bashar al-Assad.
Here we go, right here.
That without the help of its main backers, Russia, who over the last 2 years has been distracted in Ukraine, Iran and Hezbollah, who've been weakened fighting against Israel over the last year, Assad's forces really were in no position to fight themselves. They threw down their weapons, and today the rebels are consolidating power in Damascus. As you mentioned, the rebels are led by an Islamist group. It has its origins in Al-Qaeda. It is considered still to be a terrorist organization by the United States, but it is going to great lengths to try to signal to the Syrian people and to the world that it's moderated. Its leader, Mohammed al-Jolani, was in one of the historic mosques in the old city of Damascus yesterday. He's promising a government for all Syrians, that there will not be reprisals against political enemies, against minority groups, and people around the region, around the world, are watching to see as this new rebel government takes shape. Guys.
Yeah.
You know, he better promise that.
Ralph, let's talk about
the United States and use that.
There's concern, there's uncertainty, especially since the main rebel group here, they are considered a terrorist organization by the U.S.
Trump will get in, they'll be friends with Russia, they'll stop Ukraine, and then Russia be like, cool, but can you not have them as a terrorist group? Let us have this over here. He'll be like, sure. And then because they got them over there, they'll have to get Israel to stop bombing them, because Russia gonna be like, yo, let's stop this stuff in the Middle East and Iran, and can you imagine a utopia in the Middle East? Where it's so like, well, Trump is friends with Russia, and Russia friends with Iran, and then we're friends with like Saudi Arabia, and then they're friends with like, it's just so many twists and ties. Like, and if the U.S., Russia, and China are friends, this shit changes like overnight. This is crazy. Like, we need to be going to the space ages. It's just so many little interesting.
President Biden speaking at the White House yesterday, a group called Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, and the U.S. is...
They say one man terrorist is another man martyr. Remember, Nelson Mandela was a terrorist too. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, these were all people that were on some sort of or form of terror list or watch list at one point in their lives. But they're great men in history.
Says that they will judge them by their actions. Take a listen.
We will remain vigilant. Make no mistake, some of the rebel groups that took down Assad have their own grim record of terrorism and human rights abuses. We've taken note of statements by the leaders of these rebel groups in recent days, and they're saying the right things now. But as they take on greater responsibility, we will assess not just their words, but their actions.
Did anybody notice a change in Biden since the whole Kamala fiasco and him being known as his last time in office, and he probably getting older? In the last few months, Biden been making sense on a lot of things he's been saying. And like he said, like, and they can't condemn them and not condemn Netanyahu, because eventually the media are going to put the two and two together. But like, Netanyahu doing this, but they doing this. This is much worse. Or like, come on. So he's saying the right thing. He's leaving enough room for Trump to come in and fix everything. Maybe he will, maybe he won't.
Senior administration officials were asked, who are also playing a role in Damascus. And one of the big questions here is how these different rebel groups will work together. into Israeli-controlled territory on this side of the border. Israel also, as you said, carrying out
It hasn't even been 24 hours and Israel already conducting strikes in the
airstrikes
Syria.
targeting chemical weapons, biological weapons, ballistic missile facilities inside of Syria. And what the Israeli government...
But I guess they got a good reason, right? They don't want them to get those weapons and then pass it on to Hezbollah and Gaza, and Israel be in a whole heap of trouble.
Is saying is that it is absolutely determined that these strategic weapons do not fall into the wrong hands, especially into the hands of terrorist groups operating the term a power vacuum.
Yeah, Israel, you can't blame Israel for that one. I agree. You can't let them get a hold of that. That's just going to cause even more harm than good with them having those weapons. So let them get it out and and then as long as they good with the U.S., Israel can't take it too far and start hitting civilian targets. So they want to get their foot in at least, even if they're lying. They want to get their footing in at least and find out where everything. Enjoy the lapse of luxury at the long, hard-fought war. They've been fighting this war a long time between Assad and these rebels. A long time since I was in the Marine Corps. But let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Like, share, subscribe, all that. Talk to me. I talk back.